So what if someone's listening to this episode and they're like, "Oh my gosh, like I am in an abusive relationship where I'm
Mhm.
consistently gaslit." What are some steps that they could do to they've just had that realization? What would you say to
Mhm.
them?
Well, first of all, I'm sorry, and I'm happy you're here, and I'm happy you're listening, and I'm happy you're questioning whether or not this is happening. That's step number 1. Identifying, as I was saying, identifying what is happening. Number 2, I think I mentioned earlier, reaching out to someone, anyone, even if it's a coworker about something that's happening on the job, a therapist, friend, family. I mean, I don't wanna minimize, but even journaling to yourself, like, if you don't feel like there's someone that you want to go to, just taking that moment to step back and have that conversation about it. The next part is distance. Anything you can do to create space between you and the gaslighter, and that's going to look so different for so many people. Sometimes it looks like ending a relationship, quitting a job, getting a new doctor. That's not always so easy, though, and I
Mhm.
understand that. And so any distance that you can accomplish is going to be powerful. I'd given the example earlier, if you are a child and you're being gaslit by your parent, that is incredibly difficult to create distance. You usually can't just walk out.
Right.
So I remember working with a teenager who was definitely being gaslit by her parents. She was 17, almost out of the house. And we had a very frank conversation. We can't save you from this gaslighting that's happening with them, but let's create a plan to get you the most independence that you can accomplish so that you can sustain your sense of self. And
Mm.
that leads into the next step, really doing things to reorient yourself with yourself. So, again, whether that's getting more connected with things that you enjoy, or just even self care in general. Because if you're constantly trying to question whether or not you are going crazy, it is very common that you are also going to be foregoing self care. And the more you fortify yourself and you feel strong within yourself, the easier it'll be to feel when something's off. I kind of think of that example of if you take lactose out of your diet, for instance, and I never knew. I just took it out. I just thought it was a good idea. And then suddenly you have a piece of pizza and you're ill. And you're thinking, I used to be able to eat pizza all the time. What's going on? Well, your body has recovered. It now knows what it should and shouldn't put in itself. And so you put that in you and your body reacts. The same thing happens for us on an emotional energetic level when you really strengthen that self-care as much as you can, and I know that's different for everyone. You will feel the off feeling that gaslighting can make you feel a lot easier. And then finally, sometimes you have to report it. I mean, and that's why I was saying fact tracking, keeping track of things. And this can come out in if, say, you're trying to make change on a job, or let's say you're breaking up with someone and you're in a legal situation. Sometimes you do need facts and information to back up your experience. And that's not the case for everyone, but that's for some folks.